It has been a momentous first day of protest across Nigeria. Nigerians nationwide came out in large numbers to protest against bad governance, even though there were pockets of violence in some places like Kanu, Kaduna, Abuja, and other places. And we've also had reports of looting and destructions of properties in some protest venues. Um, with us today is DG Adeyanju, human rights activist and a lawyer, is going to be giving us an assessment. He was at the protest ground in Abuja. Welcome once again, DG.
Thank you very much for having me, Sarah CV.
What did this first day achieve?
Yes, the first day, achieved the fact that Nigerians actually do not need the right to freedom of assembly donated to them by government. That it's an inalienable right, and they so express themselves, desirously and effectively on day one. I'm of the view that the protests were extremely successful across the country. From here in the Federal Capital Territory, where I participated actively, I have seen a situation where the protests were extremely peaceful, aside the interference by government and unprovoked attacks by tear gassing and firing gunshots in the air by the men of the police force in particular. The military showed extreme restraint, and they were very professional on day one. And we hope that they will be professional also.
How do you think security agencies will alter their strategies on the second day of this protest?
Yes, basically, if the security agencies had done their job, protests will have been around Moshood Abiola Stadium. Unfortunately, we were at the Moshood Abiola Stadium. We had convinced people to stay at the Moshood Abiola Stadium because we did not want to be seen as taking steps to disrespect the interim order that Governor Wike had gone to court to obtain. We also did not also want a situation where anyone is seen to be supporting Moshood Abiola Stadium until we noticed security vans, these security Prados and Hiluxes. They escorted 6 large coastal buses with thugs and pro-government protesters, largely who are thugs, can be seen. One of them was eventually even arrested with a knife at the Moshood Abiola Stadium. He was trying to infiltrate our protest, and they were, unloading and unboxing these 6 buses when protesters suddenly, unilaterally decided that the Moshood Abiola Stadium was no longer safe, and that protesters should leave the Moshood Abiola Stadium and go to the 3-arm area where there's more security. And that was why protesters opted for Eagle Square, where there's more security. So the police and people in government are to blame for the changing of the venue, and all that you are expected to do is just to be seen to be taking steps to ensure that you comply with the order of the court. When the order of the court becomes impossible, when it becomes extremely impossible, for citizens, and the voice of the people is the voice of God. Section 14 of the Constitution has rightly said that the people, that they have sovereignty, and that it is from them that government derives all its powers. So the people of Nigeria said they are going to the 3-arm area because they feel safer there. So that was why there was change in location. The security agencies failed; they dropped the ball, in that regard.
Now, let me ask you finally. Nigerians have expected that President Tinubu should have spoken with regards to this protest action. Do you think President Tinubu will finally speak to Nigerians and take questions from the media?
I hope that President speaks, and that the address should be not just emotional address. It should be effective one. Issues around first subsidy, return of first subsidy, and cutting costs in government, should be the, theme and the agenda of his address. I believe that he is the one who has the mandate, the 4 years mandate. All the sycophants who did everything to prevent even the protests in the first place, who had given him assurances that the protests will not hold, he can now see that they did not mean well and that they were just scamming him. So it is better and in the interest of the nation that the president urgently address the nation and talk to his people.
Thank you so much, Comrade Adeyanju. We appreciate your time.